Welcome to the Tate and Todd Washington Commanders podcast, brought to you by and Todd. We are here. The schedule is upon us. 2022 season. How you feeling?
I am excited. I'm ready to get into the schedule, see what's going on. I'm excited. Something to talk about. The NFL turned the schedule release into a spectacle. I tell you what, they know how to do it, Tay. So I'm excited. How about you?
Yeah, I'm thrilled. Especially after seeing our opponents, or after knowing the opponents, a couple games, key games that I'm intrigued by. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm thrilled, and I'm ready to see what we have unfolded for us today.
Let's get right into it. Here is the schedule. It is right at 8 o'clock. Let me get that banner out of there as I still work out. All right, here we go. So this is the schedule for the Commanders. Let me zoom in here some. How do I do that? But this is the schedule for the Commanders. So we've got week 1, Jacksonville Jaguars at 1 o'clock. Week 2, at Detroit Lions. So week 1 at home, Jacksonville Jaguars. Week 2 at Detroit Lions, 1 o'clock. Week 3, home against the Eagles. Week 4 at Dallas, 1 o'clock. Which is, you don't usually see them play at Dallas at 1, right? Because they're, in Texas. Then you've got week 5, Tennessee at 1. Then on Thursday at Chicago, 8:15. Then you've got the Green Bay Packers at 1. The Colts game is 4:25 on Fox, so maybe America's game of the week, right? Is what it seems like. You got the Vikings home week 9 at 1 o'clock. You have the Eagles at Philly, Monday Night Football. Carson Wentz returning to Philadelphia. At Texans, back-to-back away games at 1 o'clock. Come back home for the Falcons in week 12. Go to New York, week 13. Then you get your bye week. And week 14, which is is late, and we'll talk about that. And then, Tay, you play the Giants back-to-back. That's my first big takeaway, is that you're that's crazy. But anyway, okay, then you play the Giants on the 17th or the 18th. I believe that's a Saturday or Sunday in December, the 17th or 18th. Well, that's actually Saturday or Sunday. So day and time not confirmed for that game. Then you go to San Francisco on Saturday, Christmas Eve, and play at 4:05. January 1st, come back home. So you're playing the Browns week 17. So with Deshaun Watson and being suspended, at this point he'd have to miss the whole season for the Commanders not to be playing him or be injured. And then you finish the season January 7th or 8th against the Dallas Cowboys with the time TBD. And it's crazy seeing 2023 next to that date, but that's also either Saturday or Sunday. So, Tay, this is the schedule. We've got it. This is the last big bit of information before training camp, really. Immediate thoughts.
Immediate thoughts is cupcake. Finally, we got some cupcakes, man. Depending on, we're playing the team with the top 2 picks, in the draft this year, first coming up overall. So we got Jacksonville at home, at the crib, favored by 4 points right now. It's all subjective right now. Right. Detroit, favorable matchup on the road. Possibly no Jameson Williams. They're in flux there. The amount of teams I really like, Todd, I really like this stretch of November 14th, that Monday night, heading to at Houston, home against the Falcons, at the New York Giants, bye week, at the home against the New York Giants, that could possibly be a 5-game stretch where they're like rolling,
Okay.
heading into at San Francisco. So I love how the schedules makers play that out for us,
Yeah.
and I'm excited. I really am. I love the schedule. No Christmas game first thing, and no Thanksgiving game, but I could do without.
Yeah. I'm fine without the Christmas game. I'm fine without the Thanksgiving game. Gives you the chance to just relax on those days.
Right.
So I think the thing I love most, Tay, is you're looking at the first 2 weeks playing against two teams that last year were really not that good. I'm sorry, no, two bad teams. Two of the worst. Well, really, the two worst teams from last year, right? First and second pick in the draft, right? So I like that because I want them to start off strong. It's good because of you're playing two easy teams, but then it has the potential for a recipe for disaster because if you were to come into the season losing week 1 to the Jags, losing week 2 to the Lions, that's going to be very difficult. So, but I like that because I don't have that expectation for that to happen. Week 3 against the Eagles are a team that I think they match up with well. So again, you're not looking at week 1 against Justin Herbert, week 3 against Josh Allen. You're looking at week 1 against the Jags, week 2 against the Lions, week 3 against the Eagles and Jalen Hurts, and then week 4 against the Cowboys. I love that first 4 games.
Week 5 against the Titans.
Yep. Week 5. That's and your first.
Week 6 against the
Bears. Right. Exactly. So you look at that first up until week 8, right? That first week. Let's say 7. Week 7. Honestly, week 6 up to week 6. Those first 6 games, there's only one team that I say that is objectively better than the Commanders. Not to say that they are that the Titans are guaranteed to beat the Commanders, and not to say the Commanders are guaranteed to beat any of these other teams, but the Titans are the only team that is clearly better. They were the 1 seed in the AFC. I don't think they'll be the 1 seed in the AFC again this year. I think they're going to take a step back, right? But the Jags, Lions, Eagles, Cowboys, and Bears, the Commanders are better on paper than the Jags, Lions, and Bears, hands down. You're playing, I mean, Justin Fields, who is not supported, Trevor Lawrence with the new staff, and then Jared Goff. Right. And then you're playing Jalen Hurts and Dak Prescott, but the Cowboys lost a lot of, weapons and offensive and defense. So that first 6-game stretch there, Tay, I mean, you should be able to come out of that 6-game stretch 4-2.
Oh, absolutely.
You should be able to.
Absolutely.
I think the Jags, Lions, and Bears need to be wins. I'm not going to sit here and tell you they will be wins. I'm telling you they need to be wins. And then you got to start off in your division getting one of those 2. So you lose to the Titans, you lose to the Eagles or Cowboys, okay, but you get the other 4. You start off 4-2, Tay, and then you start off 4-2, and then what's next? Packers, Colts, Vikings, Eagles, Texans, Falcons, Giants. Again, the Packers are the only team on that list that are objectively better.
Right.
That's the only team with you play the Colts. Colts, I think, are again a comparable matchup. I think the Vikings are a comparable matchup. Same with the Eagles. You should be You're better than the Texans. You're better than the Falcons. You're better than the Giants. So again, I am not predicting those as wins, but those should be games that you win.
Right.
We went from week 7, week Packers, Colts, Vikings, Eagles. So of those next 7 games after the first 6, those next 7 games, I mean, you got to beat the Colts for Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
So then and then if you go Houston, you go Texans, Falcons, Giants, that's another 4 wins, and now you're sitting at 8-4 going into the last 4 games.
And possibly having momentum going into at San Francisco. That's the thing that's
right.
What I'm liking about.
Yes, exactly. Which is 49ers are a well-built team. It's all about that quarterback. We don't know what Trey Lance is. We don't know what Jimmy Garoppolo will be playing. We don't know if he'll be healthy, all that sort of thing. You play the Giants back-to-back again, which is crazy. And Tay, they should not lose to the Giants this year. Obviously, divisional games can go either way, obviously. But the Giants, Tay, I look at these teams, the number of teams they're playing that really are not trying hard to win this year, the Giants, the Texans, the Lions, the Falcons. They're not trying to win this year. They are building, and they're saying they don't care about winning. The goal, they're going to come out, compete. But Look at and Tay. Let's look at and then you finish off your last 4 weeks: Giants, Niners, Browns, Cowboys. Honestly, Tay, that might be your toughest stretch with the 49ers, the Browns, and the Cowboys.
Exactly.
That might be your toughest stretch right there.
That's what I'm thinking.
That Cowboys game could be for the division.
Yeah, that's why it says TBD.
Right, exactly, because that may need to be a Sunday night flex.
Yeah.
Or a Saturday night flex. And then let's recap the 2022. The 2021 schedule. Look at the quarterbacks they played, because that was the biggest thing, was the quarterbacks that they played against. So let's look. Let me pull that up here. 2021 schedule. 2021, they played against Justin Herbert, Josh Allen, Matt Ryan, older albeit, but they played against Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Russell Wilson, Derek Carr, Dak Prescott twice, which obviously they'll do again. But let me say it one more time. Let me just recap: Justin Herbert, Josh Allen, Matt Ryan, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Russell Wilson, Derek Carr, and Dak Prescott twice. This year, they're playing Trevor Lawrence, Jared Goff, Jalen Hurts twice, Dak Prescott twice, Ryan Tannehill, Justin Fields, Aaron Rodgers, Matt Ryan, Kirk Cousins, Davis Mills, I assume, Marcus Mariota, Daniel Jones, assuming he's healthy, twice, Trey Lance, possibly Deshaun Watson.
Wow.
Big difference. Big difference. Big difference. And I mean, even the number of playoff teams they're playing. Well, Cowboys and Eagles, 49ers, Packers and Titans. Packers and Titans. So outside of the divisional teams, the Titans, the Packers, the 49ers. Right? Yeah, the Titans, the Packers, the 49ers are the only non-divisional playoff teams they're playing.
Right.
From last year. Packers don't have Devontae Adams anymore. The Tate. This is
Titans don't have AJ Brown.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's right. Titans lost AJ Brown. Yep.
They got King Henry, but I'm not too scared of them at home.
I think, and you made it the point, Tay, where this year that's the running backs for them, not the quarterbacks, right? Yeah. Which I have less concern about, but they're playing Derrick Henry. They're playing Jonathan Taylor. They're playing Dalvin Cook. They're playing Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. They're playing the 49ers stable of running backs. But so 2 primetime games with the potential to have 3 or 4. I don't think that Week 15 Giants game is going to be a primetime game. I don't think the relevance will be there. So I think barring, and this is not a COVID season. So I think 3 primetime games is the max they'd end up with if that Cowboys game ends up being flexed to primetime. But that Colts game, if that's America's game, that's got to be America's game of the week on Fox, right?
Oh, for sure. For sure.
So that's kind of like a primetime game. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about the Week 14 bye. Love it or hate it?
I love it in a sense because you're going to need it right before this big stretch. I think this is the hardest stretch going into Week 15, 16, 17, 18. I think it allows the guys to get refocused. And, we would love to have it at Week 11, but it works out perfect, in my opinion, that Week 14 bye, because this is going to be the biggest stretch, and you get that last little, juice to get you pushed into the off season. So
right. No, that's I like it too. If I had my choice, it would be for them to play, for it to be like Week 9 or 10. But I'd rather be at 14 than be at 4 or 5.
For sure. For sure.
It's definitely different, but it is kind of cool, Tay, because you get rest before, like you said, that stretch that's really going to matter, I think. Those last 4 games, because those last 4 games are 17 games, so that means that they would have played 13 games. If through those 13 games you are 7-6, if you go win, loss, win. Okay, so you come out of those first 6 and you're, let's say, 4-2, and then those next however many you end up being 7-6 going, which they should be 7-6 going into those last 4, if you ask me. You get to rest up, maybe get some guys back, and then you're playing the Giants, and then you're playing the Niners, the Browns, and then the Cowboys there.
But you see what people are sleeping on right here is those last 2 games being at home. Huge.
Oh, that is true. That is true. Yeah,
you're catching
that
Dallas
is
in the cold January.
Yeah,
for the division possibly. If we're just speaking like that, that could be huge going into the off season.
No, that's a good point, Tay. That's a great point. The preseason is Panthers, Chiefs, Ravens, of course. Dates and times TBD. But
I like that Chiefs for the simple fact of because of the fact that's going to be the rehearsal game, and why not go against one of the best teams to get
That's a good point. That's a good point, Tay. Yeah, the back-to-back Giants is tripping me up. That's wild.
You don't like it?
No, I do not like it. It's just very interesting whenever that happens to me. Did they play them back-to-back in 2020, or was it just close to back-to-back? No. It was close, but I don't think it was back-to-back.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that you play them, you go to bye and you just play them again. But then that's interesting, man. Okay, so let's see. I'm trying to look for any other major takeaways. We talked about Thursday night against the Bears. I like that primetime game that is not against the Titans, that is not against the Packers or one of these, legitimately better teams. I want them to honestly take week 1 against it. So I wanted a soft entry into this season. That's exactly what they got. Honestly, Tay, and the Jaguars, they added Christian Kirk. They added Trayvon Walker. They added Devin Lloyd. They added Chad Muma, right, on defense. They added, who's the other receiver? They paid another receiver too. They spent a lot of money.
Jones.
Well, who was that?
Marvin Jones last couple of years.
Okay, Marvin Jones. Let me pull up their offseason moves real quick because they made a lot. And so they are not
Brandon
the
Sheriff.
same team. That's right. The Brandon Sheriff revenge game. Yes, exactly. But Tay, I still think that regardless of who they've added, the Commanders should still be going in. They added Evan Ingram, tight end, Zay Jones. The Commanders should still be going in there, and that should be a 27, 30-plus point game immediately.
They should smoke them. Captain Carson, you come in here and you show them what life is all about. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree. And
you go and go crazy in this.
Right. And I know people say it's a revenge game for Carson Wentz. I guess to some degree it is, but really the Colts as a team lost that game. Carson was not good, but no one else was good. The defense wasn't good. Darius Leonard wasn't good. No, the offensive line wasn't good. No one was good in that game. So I think that is a bit overstated. But I also think, but the Colts haven't beat the Jags in Jacksonville in a while too.
Right.
And yeah, exactly. But that's a team with a new staff, with a young quarterback, with a bunch of new pieces that will be their first time playing together. Can the Commanders be the team that come out looking like they are in sync, like they're good to go? Kind of like how the Chargers looked week 1 against them last year. Can the Commanders be that team this year? Start off with a bang, then go to Detroit week 2 and then beat them too, because they are not a good team. They are honestly they're worse than they didn't make the additions that the Jaguars did. They drafted Jameson Williams. Jameson Williams might be playing week 2, right? If he is,
even then, he's not going to be getting.
He's not full speed. He's playing with Jared Goff. So man, you absolutely have to come out of these first 2 games 2-0. You have to. This is the year more than any other where we're not coming out of this first 2 game stretch 2-0 would be a letdown take.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
Yeah, I like this one. I like this schedule. The Monday night, and I said the schedule makers, they had to do one of these Eagles games in primetime. Yeah. They had to. They knew that they had to. I want to see how this team reps for one of their own. Week 8 against the Colts, 4:25 on Fox. So I'm assuming that's America's Game of the Week. And week 10, Monday Night Football against the Eagles. That's twice within 3 weeks. How is this team going to say, we need to represent for our quarterback? That's what I want to see, Tay.
Yeah.
Are they going to honestly, are they going to take on that persona of, we got to go out here for him and, we add a little extra juice, or are they not? That's my question. And what do you think? Because I think that they will, because I think that's the mentality around Rivera. They use motivating factors as much as they can. Everything we need is in this room, throwing the rock against the wall, the David and Goliath thing. Okay. What do you think, Tay, about them playing the Colts and the Eagles both in really primetime scenarios, knowing Carson Wentz in the backstory?
I think the boys going to be ready. I could just see the leaders behind. I could see Chase getting the guys ready, Big Allen getting the guys ready. I think those guys will really, really come to play for Captain Carson, and he's going to be motivated. I love the offseason that Carson has been having. The fact that he's just been quiet, just slowly going about the work, and I think. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that, Will Van Dink. I think that's a great way to stay humble. But if we're being honest, I think this is the year that we need to go. We shouldn't accept anything lower than 10.
I'd say I agree, Tay. I mean, I think if you end up with 9 in the playoffs, you're not content with that, but you made the playoffs, so make some noise in there. But I do think that 10 wins should be the measuring stick. You got 7 in 2020 with the worst quarterback play in the league. You got 7 in 2021 with one of the toughest schedules and with your backup quarterback, obviously barring injury and all that sort of thing. But 10 wins should be the measuring stick this year.
Right.
I mean, let's go through it then now, right? Because I want to Brian Harding. Thanks for hopping in. If Jack can give us a top 15 defense, we'll do well with the schedule. I think that the schedule is what will lend to the defense being much improved, because while the truly great, really good defenses can shut down the great offenses, it's so much harder to be good against these really good quarterbacks on defense consistently year in and year out. When you're talking about needing 11 guys versus these quarterbacks, lots of times it's just them. Quarterbacks can be great for 15 years. Right. You don't defenses that are great for 15 years, right? And then we talk about statistically, the Bills had a good pass defense last year, but also if you were to look at the teams they played, were they good because they were shutting down these teams, or were they shutting down these teams because these teams weren't good?
Right.
Like when they played the Commanders, they were so. To that point, the defense, in my mind, will undoubtedly be improved because you're replacing Herbert and Allen and Russell Wilson for Justin Fields and Jared Goff and Davis Mills.
Right.
So let's go through it. All right, week 1 against the Jaguars. That should be a win. That should be 1-0.
Yeah, that should be 1-1. That should be win 1.
That honestly, that has to be 1-0.
Yeah,
it has to be.
Yeah, it has to be.
It has to be 1-0. You can't lose to the first. You can't lose to the team that had the first pick in the draft week 1 of the season.
And for those who are complaining, Brandon Sheriff is going to tell, whatever his name is, Doug, that the offense is going to run. Well, Carson knows the same offense that he's going to run, so they can't each other out. Carson was in that system for 5+ years.
Doug Peterson, yeah, that's right. I forgot that was who took over as head coach. Good point.
Right.
All right, so you're 1-0. Week 2 at Detroit. You should be 2-0.
Should be 2-0. Yes. I think the key matchup with that would be DeAndre Swift
against the run. Yep.
Against the run, and then they have Amon St. Brown, obviously turned up late in the season.
Yeah.
Their defense is okay, but like you said, on the road at Detroit, that should definitely be a win.
That should be, like, in terms of what would be, except it's like the Commanders are not on the level of the Packers or whatever. But if it was the Packers playing these teams, you'd be saying the same thing. These teams had the first 2 picks in the draft. They were the 2 worst teams in the league last year. They can and maybe will be better this year, but you should still beat them because you should be better. So that should be 2-0. Okay. Week 3 against the Eagles. Let's do week 3 and week 4 against the Cowboys. You should be 1-1.
Yeah, that should be the goal right there.
At least 1-1.
Honestly, I think if they split, they probably lose that game with the first two. If they split, because that
Lose to
shows
the
that
Eagles.
no, if they lose to either one of
Oh, oh,
Jacksonville
oh,
or
oh, yeah.
I think they'll lose that Philly game if they split. But if they win, I think momentum will be so high. I can see them winning that game. So I would give them a win for that personally.
Against the Eagles.
Yes,
Okay, so then,
that's just me. I think they lose
so
at Dallas though.
okay, so we're saying 3-1 to start.
Hmm.
Starting off 3-0, losing to Dallas there in week 4. That's 2-0, split the next two. Okay, week 5 against the Titans. I'm fine giving them a loss here. I think they're capable of winning, but the Titans are objectively the better team. They lost AJ Brown. Tannehill has been trending a bit downward. They were the 1 seed. They lost to the Bengals. Didn't look great in the playoffs. Derrick Henry was, hurt. That probably affected them in terms of towards the end of the season. But I'll give the Titans the win here and say you're 3-2.
I'll give Tennessee the win there, but I think if you can, like I say, if you can stack the box and stop Henry, but everybody's
Yeah,
tried doing it
everybody,
and they can't
right.
do it.
Exactly.
So yeah, I'll give Tennessee that, but I think this is that Tennessee game at home is a very winnable game.
Yeah. That is true. It is at home, and their best receiving option right now is going to be what, Treylon Burks.
Yeah, I'm stacking the
Right.
box.
I put William Jackson III on Treylon Burks. I mean, I really don't matter who and then load up, force them to throw the ball.
Yeah.
Because I think you're much more likely to get those mistakes from Tannehill than you are from Derrick Henry. So
right.
So we'll say 3-2. Week 6 against the Bears in Chicago, but not in the mid of winter.
Mm-hmm.
That's got to be a win. That's
gotta be
again. Justin Fields. Who's he throwing the ball to? Mooney is not bad. Mooney is like their Kirk Cousins, not Kirk Cousins. Their Terry McLaurin wannabe. He's not as good as Terry McLaurin, but he's a 1,000-yard receiver.
Mm-hmm.
The best weapon they have. They added Byron Pringle. They've got a good running back in what's his name? Montgomery. But I'm looking at that quarterback, Justin Fields. I'm looking at it being another new staff. I'm looking at them clearly not being interested in trying to, give him the best chance to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
That's got to be a win, and you're 4-2.
Yep, 4-2.
4-2. You come back home against the Packers. Now, honestly, they've played the Packers pretty well.
I'm giving them
going back years. So is this kind of their first kind of upset win? It's not really an upset, just kind of an upset.
I personally don't think Green Bay is going to be good this year. That's just my personal opinion. I think Aaron Rodgers.
I was gonna say not good for Green Bay is like 10-7.
Yeah, I could see like a 9-8, a 10,
mm-hmm.
A 9-8, 10-7 one team. I'm going to give the Commanders but see if we do that, man. I'm gonna give them a win because we always play Green Bay well. It's just we haven't had that quarterback to get us over the hump. I think Carson will be that guy.
Yeah, I mean they played Green Bay. Honestly, they did not play Green Bay terribly last year.
They did not.
They were moving the ball.
The whole game.
The whole game. That was the game where I just remembered that was the game where he was short of the goal line and then they couldn't get the ball in, and that was I think that was the game where there were multiple, maybe at least like 3 or 4 4th and ones that they failed to convert. Mm-hmm. So you're giving them the win, so you want to put them at 5-2.
I'm gonna put them at 5-2.
Well then next week against the Colts, you go to Indianapolis, America's game of the week. I gotta give them the win here because I think they should have enough to play for. That would mean they're 6-2. I don't know that I see them getting to 6-2. Jalen said we're going 17-0 though,
Jalen, so stunner.
What do you think about that?
They're gonna beat Indianapolis. I got them at 6-2.
6-2. Okay.
They're gonna beat Indianapolis.
Okay. So they're going 6-2. So then, okay. All right. Well, then I think I got to give them Kirk Cousins' return and kind of staking his claim on FedEx, right?
Yeah.
even
I
though
think that's gonna
none
be
of
a
the
loss.
people that he didn't like, well, Dan Snyder, but so you're losing to the Vikings in week
Yeah,
9,
I think so. I can see that.
putting you at 6-3, losing to Kirk Cousins. Fans hate that. Week 10, going to Indianapolis. The return for Carson Wentz, Monday Night Football. You cannot, again, this is a winnable game. This is a losable game, but this team, man, we got to show out. We got to show out for our quarterback. We got to show up for him. It would be deflating, I think, to lose this game somewhat. But
Yeah, it's
do you see
tough.
them sweeping the Eagles? Because I think we said a win against the Eagles.
The thing you got to remember is Carson's record against the NFC East.
He is
Carson is
pretty
a
good, right?
dog in the NFC East. I'm gonna go ahead and give him. I just can't see that. Maybe they'll lose that first one at home. Maybe I'll give
Okay.
them a loss there. I'll switch the loss at home and I'll get them grabbing this one.
Okay. So
But I
they're
do think they can win both.
so you've got them beating the Cowboys instead week 4, or
Yes.
just losing,
No.
going 2-2
Losing
to
both.
start.
Losing
Okay,
both.
so going 2-2 to start,
Yeah.
2-3 week 5, and then 3-3, 4-3 they beat the Packers, 5-3 they beat the Colts, go on a 3-game win streak there. 5-4 losing to the Vikings, then 6-4 beating the Eagles in Philly.
I have them winning the next 5: Philly, Houston, Atlanta, New York, New York. I do. That's why I did that. I do.
That's not crazy, Tay. They should beat the Texans, Falcons, Giants, and Giants.
What's that? 10 and what?
We said 6-4. That's 10-4. No. That's 10-4. 6-4.
10
It's
and 4.
10-4.
10 and
Right?
4. Yep.
10-4. Then okay. You got them 10-4 going into week 16.
Yep.
Could you imagine that, Tay?
Oh
When was
my
last
goodness,
time?
bro.
Could you imagine that the closest we've got when they clinched the division in 2015 in week 16, and they were actually able to rest their starters, and they crushed the Cowboys in week 17. I think they got up 21-0 with the starters and then rested them. You remember that? That's the closest. But Tay, and then 2018 was the last time we experienced early season success when they started off 6-3. But it's been a long time since even in 2012 in the magical season that was, they started off 3-6.
Yeah.
They started off 6-2 in 2008. Jim Zorn's first year started off 6-2, finished 2-6. So that's the last time. Those are the last, probably 2018, and then 2008 is when they started off so strong. Because in 2015 they didn't start off strong. That was you like that game,
right? And the thing is, we've seen Ron Rivera teams each year string off 4+, 5+ wins, so we know that they can do it, especially
that
late
they can
in the
get. They can and year 3, Carolina was his year that they took off. They improved year 1 from when they were before, and then they took a small step forward in year 2, and then in year 3 they took off. So, Tay, if they're going 10-4 to start, and the thing is, while I don't like, it's been so long, but when you said beating the Texans, Falcons, and then Giants twice, that's what should happen.
Yes.
You should be beating Davis Mills if that's even who's playing. You should be beating Marcus Mariota if that's even who's playing. They drafted who did they draft? Desmond Ridder. Either one you should be beating. And then the Giants, even if Daniel Jones is playing, you should be beating. If Daniel Jones is not playing,
you should be beating.
So you're 10-4 week 15. Week 16, you go to San Francisco. I'll give them a loss there. Kyle Shanahan loves to beat them. He, still.
Yeah, remember last time we beat them, we had them in Arizona. Remember, because of the stadium situation that San Fran had, so we had to play them in Arizona. That's when Chase Young had to strip fumble.
Yes, that's touchdown. When Nick Mulligan, the backup quarterback was. It was that's not his real name. It's Nick Mullins.
Nick Mullins.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give them a loss here. I do. Yeah, I'm gonna give them a loss here.
Yeah, so that's 10-5. If they're playing Deshaun Watson, Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, Amari Cooper, I would give them I'd give them a loss against the Browns.
I'm giving them a loss there too.
So they go 10-4 to 10-6, and then week 18 against the Cowboys.
They're split against Dallas, so that's the one.
So you got to give them the win, right? So we're saying that they're going to break their record of winning more than 10 games, which they haven't done in 30 years. That this will be the year they're going to go 11-6.
And that's the thing. I think that's baseline. I think there's like 3 more wins possibly on top of that. You see what I'm saying? Like some of the losses they gave them, like Titans, Minnesota, San Francisco, even those are like baseline. Like there's only like, if we're being honest here, there's only maybe 2 like, okay, you're going to lose games. Like that's Cleveland, and then that's Green Bay. Not even Tennessee, Dallas once. 13-3. I mean 14-3. I mean that's what. I'm just my baseline. I'm not going over it. I fooled myself time and time again. I'm at 10-11 wins this year, but I wouldn't be surprised if they get 13-14.
You look at okay. That would be insane. I'm at 10. 10 is my number, but you look at last year because you made valid points, and like maybe this isn't fair, but I don't know. Maybe they played the 4th toughest. Somewhere between the 1st and 4th toughest schedule last year, Tate.
Right.
They lost to the Chargers in a close game. Their starting quarterback got injured. Their starting running back fumbled on the 2-yard line. And they lost by 4 points. Beat the Giants, lost to the Bills, and okay, whatever. That was a loss. You got blown out. Beat the Falcons. Saints quarterback play was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
That was, you gave up a Hail Mary touchdown. That was a game that definitely could have won. The Chiefs game, you were in that game early, and then you let them get away. The Packers game was definitely a winnable game. Mm-hmm. You should have had a touchdown on that run. There was one run where Antonio Gibson should have really broken for a touchdown. He stumbled, and they struggled to convert short downs. That was a winnable game last year with your backup quarterback. The Broncos game, absolutely a winnable game. At the end of the game, when the game was over, you had a chance to win that game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Lost that game 17-10. You beat the Bucks. You beat the Panthers. You beat the Seahawks. You beat the Raiders. You lost to the Cowboys 27-20. And that's a game where, again, you ended up playing with your 3rd-string quarterback. You still had a chance to win that game. You got down early because of mistakes from the quarterback. But you had a chance if DeAndre Carter catches that ball, that perfectly thrown ball down the sidelines, you have a chance to, if he catches that, and if your kicker doesn't miss the extra point, it's 21-27. You catch that ball, that's a different story.
Totally different story.
The Eagles game really doesn't count. You were forced to use your 4th-string quarterback while missing a number of players due to COVID.
Yeah.
And that was a close game. That second Cowboys game, which is kind of surprising how much we kind of just let it, we didn't really hold it against them too much. You were coming off of COVID. I think Heineke's first pass was an interception. It was just the Cowboys were completely healthy. The Commanders,
5-day turnaround.
Yeah, that's right. Quick turnaround. Against the Eagles the second time, you had a chance to win that game. Taylor Heineke threw a pick at the end. So I would say that the 2 Eagles games, the first Dallas game, the Broncos game, the Packers game, the Saints game, and the Chargers game were all very much winnable if your quarterback play was at least middle tier.
Mm-hmm.
And in those games, they played Justin Herbert. Jameis Winston was playing well. You played Aaron Rodgers. You were playing Dak Prescott and Jalen Hurts. So you look at this year, and I mean, you won 7 games last year. Absolutely, you should be able to win 10 this year.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm with you. I'm with you.
No excuse.
No, there is no excuse. They they clearly don't get a ton of respect still because they're not getting 4 or 5 primetime games. That's fine. You got to earn that respect, right? Yeah. But you've got the Bears, you've got the Eagles, you've got the Colts game of the week, and then you potentially have primetime game against the Cowboys. Maybe the Giants surprise people and that game matters, and that's primetime.
Right.
All in all, we knew who the opponents were. We knew the home and away, but seeing it on paper, seeing it laid out like this, man, I love starting off against those two. I like that your bye is later in the season. You play the Giants. You have a stretch of playing the Texans, Falcons, Giants, and Giants. Texans had the 3rd pick in the draft, right?
Mm-hmm.
Texans had the 3rd pick in the draft. Falcons had the 8th pick in the draft. The Giants had the 5th and 7th traded one. So which one? Their 5th pick was their true pick, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that's a 4-game stretch, Tay. That should be 4 wins right there. That combined with the first 2, that should be 6 wins right there. Plus the Bears, that should be 7 wins right there. But obviously,
and then if you want to get technical, if they going into a 4-game win streak, 5-game win streak with that Eagles, Texans, Falcons, Giants, the momentum might be so real that San Francisco game could be a game of the week as well.
It's possible.
They'll probably take that also.
What?
They could probably win that game too.
No, I mean that's the thing. I don't look at this and see any games they can't win. You know.
Yeah.
I mean,
I really don't.
No. I don't either. They have to take advantage of this, Tay, and that's not even factoring in. So obviously the Commanders will have their own injuries, but that's not even factoring the injuries of other teams. Imagine you get the Titans without Derrick Henry, without Tannehill. Imagine you get the Packers without Aaron Rodgers. You get the Colts without Jonathan Taylor. You know, you get the Eagles without Jalen Hurts. You get the 49ers without their quarterbacks or like imagine that happens. Imagine like 2020 where they played a bunch of backup quarterbacks and it worked in their favor. They're already playing a bunch of not good quarterbacks. Now, if they end up playing backup quarterbacks against the Eagles or the Cowboys or the Titans or the Packers or the Colts or the Vikings, Kirk Cousins doesn't get hurt, but against the Vikings or the 49ers or the Browns, if they play backups against any of those, I mean, you're in even better shape.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
This is the year that they have to take advantage of. They have got to take advantage of this, Tay. Can't pass up this opportunity. The good teams, when they have good seasons, oftentimes you look at, lots of times they take advantage of having an easy schedule. So you want to be good. You got to take advantage of this, man. Come on now. You got to come out against the Jaguars and you got to score 30 points and then go against the Lions and do it again.
And then my thing is with this, like in the NFC, I mean, look, we got the Rams, Buccaneers.
In terms of playoffs?
Yeah.
Rams, Bucks, 49ers, probably Packers, maybe. Cowboys, maybe.
I mean, if you're looking at it like that, which one of those you would say definite? I mean, I would say Rams probably.
Yeah, the Rams. I would say the Rams are the one
Bucks,
I would.
I'm scared of the Bucks at all. Rams are like the only team in the NFC, personally, where you're like, oh, they're going to spank. I mean, besides the Cowboys once and the Eagles maybe once.
Right.
Those like the only teams. Green Bay up in the air. If you go to Lambeau in December, in the January, that could be a different story. But I mean, this could shape up to be one. Like this could be the year that they build on top of.
Yeah,
and not look back. This could honestly be it.
And the thing is, Tay, I do believe that fans, us included, well, maybe me included, but I do think lots of fans are lower on the Commanders, on Washington, than the league is, than in reality. Like, they are definitely not like one of the worst teams in the league with one of the worst rosters in the league.
Oh, no.
I imagine that you have the Super Bowl contenders tier, whatever those teams are. You have the playoff tier, and then you have the playoff teams that Then you have the teams that are contenders for the playoffs, like that back, that's 7th through 5th seed, that wild card or divisional, 4 seed. That's where the Commanders are to me. Mm-hmm. They're in that 3rd tier because they absolutely should be a playoff team.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the NFC, right? The Cowboys and Eagles are the 2 in their division. The 49ers, the Vikings, the Falcons are not. The Giants are not. The Bears are not. The Lions are not. The Panthers are not. The Bucks are in that Super Bowl tier.
But we played them good. I mean,
the Rams are in that Super Bowl tier. Yeah. So not making the playoffs this year would definitely be and I think honestly, when you look at the team, you can see what Rivera and Scott Turner and Jack Del Rio have been building. They've had their hiccups along the way for sure. Like you had the COVID, you had all the quarterback injuries and changes. You haven't been able to secure the quarterback. And then you had a Curtis Samuel to help the offense. He didn't play. You had a De'Ami Brown to help the offense, but ended up playing the quarterback who couldn't really, Logan Thomas got hurt. Every team has their hurdles, but I think that the vision they have has not been able to be seen because of those hurdles. This is the year I think they have the best chance, even if Carson Wentz is just average. And look, Carson Wentz, we talked about it from weeks 4 or 5 to 14, 15, when the culture went 8-2, Tate, Carson Wentz was playing well.
And see, I'm not even factoring in that. Like, if he's playing like on par, this could be a 13-win team because he's done it in every situation he's been. He's done it in Philly, and he's went on streaks in Indianapolis, in that Indianapolis team. So, I'm not even factoring him. I'm going 11 wins based off him being average.
Yeah.
Now, he's like, okay, above average, then you're looking at 13.
Okay, see, for me, if he's average, I think you should be 9 or 10. And then if he's playing on a 2017 to 2019 level, that's when you get when you finally break that barrier of 10 wins, which we have this comment in here. 1991. 1991 was the last time they won more than 10 games, Tate. It's got to end at some point.
Yeah, that's true.
Why not this year? And that's the thing. I definitely would say I think I was not, a fan for trading for Carson Wentz, wasn't clamoring for him, wasn't on the radar much. But their potential, but the real issue with drafting a rookie, aside from what we now know, how this class is really seen, is that you don't draft rookie quarterbacks needing to win that year.
All right.
Their potential for winning is definitely greater with Wentz this year, even if their potential for a long-term solution to the position is less with Wentz total.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Carson Wentz, the Colts went 9-8 last year, but that was a completely different team, a completely different roster. This team, you plug in these guys with this schedule, Tay, with this slate of opponents, yeah, you have to win at least 10 games. And I will say, I think that this year definitely more than last year, the year before, more than 2019, more than 2018. This is the year I would say I think they have the best chance to finally break that streak and get 11 wins.
Yeah, for sure.
And here's the question from Metaphor. And thank you for everyone who's tuning in with 91. We appreciate that. Sorry, we haven't even shouted that out yet. Thank you to everyone tuning in. If we get 11 wins, does Carson get a new deal? If Carson starts all the games, and if Carson was a clear reason why, no, I say no because he doesn't need a new deal, right? He still has 3 years left on his deal.
Yeah.
But he definitely locks in 100%. With no question, he's your starting quarterback. Now next year until proven otherwise.
Right. So no new deal. No. He doesn't need a new deal. Finish out his contract.
Yeah, his contract is, and that's the thing.
Maybe if he wants to like take less in order so we can build a team. Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, Tate, if I don't know if Carson Wentz would be the type to hold out or really cause a big fuss, but if Wentz did really have a strong year, you got 11 wins. He was a big part of that. What he's cost for that level of play for quarterback is $21 million is nothing. Right. Well, it's 28 this year. It drops next year.
Oh yeah, it does drop.
So
I forgot all about
it drops to like 20 year. Let me pull it up real quick. Carson Wentz contract. I mean, that is nothing for a quarterback. You look at his contract here. 2023. The yearly, I think it's 20 or 20. It's 20. Well, that's a roster bonus that I think that roster bonus, it's 20 or 26. I'm not 100% positive. I'm not 100% positive on which one it is. That roster bonus, I think is on the Colts end. So I think it's 20 million. I think for the Commanders, it's the base salary, I believe, but I'm not positive. And maybe if someone in the comments wants to, say for sure. Either way, either one, 20 or 26, that's nothing if you're getting that level of play.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, does he say, hey, I want a new deal? We need to figure this out before we keep going. But because if he doesn't do that, yeah, you definitely don't offer him a new deal because you want to take advantage of that. And then if he does it again 2023, that's when you have to pay him like $50 million a year.
Right.
Because if you were giving a Carson a new deal, it's going to be at least like $40 million, because that's what quarterbacks get paid. That's on the low end of what the quarterbacks are getting paid these days.
Unless you think Sam Howell is ready, if he's developing at a good rate, then you can just say, we'll let you finish your contract. And
maybe. Here's the real question, Tay. Is Sam Howell starting that Week 18 game against the Cowboys because the Commanders already locked up the division?
I would hope so, man. I would hope so, bro.
That was like the best feeling. That was the best meaningless game to watch ever.
Oh, man.
It doesn't matter whether we win or lose.
Yes.
But in the best way possible. I've experienced that one time, Tay. So this is the year. Let's do it again. 10 wins. I agree. 10 wins. Let's see. I want that 5-2-4 defense with Mathis at nose tackle, flanked by the gap penetrators, Payne Allen, flanked by doubly flanked by our defensive end, Sweat and Young, press man coverage with Butler playing single high post safety. Look, man, I don't hate that one, Roger. I do not hate that one. 5 down, 2 with that would mean Cam Curl is you're playing your Buffalo in that 2, and then your 4. Yeah, man, it's gonna be. Let's see. They don't play a back-to-back home game until the final 2 games of the season. That home then away cadence for most season may prove to be problematic. Now that's a good observation. I didn't notice. Let's see. They go home, away, home, away, home, away, home, away, home, away, away, home, away, home, away. I didn't notice that. That is interesting that they don't have any stretches of home games and really no stretches of away games except for the 2. And they don't play back-to-back until week 17, 18. Yeah, it's nice to have week 17, 18, but yeah, that is. I didn't even notice that. That is an interesting observation for sure.
Yeah, that is.
That combined with the back-to-back Giants games, combined with the week 14 bye, which is like just the latest I've ever heard of a bye, and then combined with that 4-game stretch, Texans, Falcons, Giants, and Giants, and that opening 2 of Jags, and you're opening your season against the 2 worst teams from last year, man.
Yeah.
I'm excited, Tay. I think that's my take on it.
Yeah, I don't think that's problematic because of the teams that they're playing on those back-to-backs. Like if it was like a last year schedule where you're getting, Los Angeles Chargers, and then you're getting the Chiefs, and then you away and back and back. But the fact that they're getting some not gimme games, but some teams that are about as on par as we are, I don't think that should be a problem. I think they'll be ready to roll.
Yeah, I agree, Tay. I think so too. And I mean, last year was just a weird year, and like Ron Rivera was talking about with the stuff that was going on with the players and their personal lives, and like Montez Sweat lost a brother. You had the Shazer Everett accident, which Jamin Davis was a part of. You had Jeremy Reeves lost a family member, I believe, as well. Then you had the COVID. So Sweat didn't play. He was hurt, and then he got back, and then his brother, then he didn't play. Chase Young got hurt. You lost your starting quarterback immediately. Curtis Samuel never played for you. You had major injuries along the offensive line. Logan Thomas missed the majority of the season. I mean, yeah, like it was a very tumultuous year. And then you had the COVID outbreak. Outbreak when you were really, that final stretch of the season coming off of that win streak. And then, you're back. Then you were down to your 4th string quarterback. It was just a very tumultuous year. So the schedule, if they can get some luck combined with this schedule, Tay, because also good teams get lucky sometimes.
Yeah, they do. I mean, Dallas got pretty. I mean, they were pretty healthy all last year. I mean,
Yeah.
for the most part.
Yeah. Metaphor. This is a good question because I think when you look at these things, it's always good to try to take yourself out of the fan shoes and then put yourself in the other team's shoes and say, we're playing the Commanders. How would I feel? To me, if I'm a Jags fan and I say the Commanders are a gimme game, I am disillusioned. To me, like I should like clearly, if you were the worst team in the league, you can't honestly. If you were the worst team and the second worst team in the league, then you should not be saying any game is a gimme game.
Yeah.
The Jags, Lions, and Texans should not be saying any games are gimmies.
Yeah.
And neither should the Bears or the Falcons.
Yeah. Or the Giants.
Or the Giants. Now, the Packers, if I'm a Packers fan, if I'm a Titans fan, if I'm a 49ers and probably a Browns fan, I'm saying the Commanders are a gimme game for sure.
Right. Maybe the Vikings.
And yeah, maybe the Vikings, the Colts. I mean, to me, the Colts and the Vikings are really the two teams not in the division that are on the same level as the Commanders, in my opinion. Colts have, who knows what to expect from their quarterback? Vikings, who knows what to expect from their quarterback? Eagles, who knows what to expect from their quarterback? Cowboys are the same, except we pretty much know what you'll get from Dak.
Right.
Now, if Dak, I'm not wishing injury on anybody, Tay, but if Dak got hurt again, that would change the landscape even more.
Yeah.
Because suddenly the Cowboys really are not in it at all.
And the thing is, they don't really scare me as much without Cooper.
Right, without Amari Cooper, yeah.
They're just kind of base. I mean, Zeke doesn't have any juice.
Zeke's
the
offensive line is not what it was. Not at all.
No tight end. Schultz is okay.
Schultz
CD,
so you
got the load of a number one?
The thing is, and that's a good point. That's a good question on CD. Because Michael Gallup, his counterpart, he tore his ACL in January.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably not back full speed, early in the season. Yeah. So early in the season, who's that? They lost Cedric Wilson, who was their fourth receiver, who was a 6th round pick for them, but was really looking good. So that means week one, maybe two. If worst case scenario, Gallup were to start on the PUP list, Dak's going from throwing to Mark Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, Cedric Wilson to throwing to CeeDee Lamb.
Yep.
And then, like you said, on the offensive line, they don't have the straight tight ends. Ezekiel Elliott, I think year on in from here out, he's just trending down.
Yeah.
And then defensively, they lost Randy Gregory.
Yeah.
And Trayvon Diggs, I don't think he can sustain 10 interceptions a year.
I want to see him talk that trash like he did last year with a quarterback now. So.
Yeah, right. On top of the fact that no one wins the NFCs back to back, so the odds are not in their favor to even do that. Exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, and I agree exactly. Especially with Doug Peterson coaching. Won a Super Bowl, but
yeah, he did.
So, yeah, the Cowboys definitely, in terms of on paper, took a step back, and the Eagles, I thought they had a solid draft, but I think that it's anyone's division between the Commanders, Eagles, and Cowboys.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. See what's up to Pedro Schmidt. What are we gonna do at linebacker? At linebacker, Holcomb's gonna be your Mike. I think Jamin's gonna be your strong, your Sam or your Will. I mean your Will.
Yeah, I think they're gonna wait for another cut like a James Bradbury later on in the season.
Yeah,
and which there will be cap casualties. So I'm not concerned about the linebacker situation. Last year they found Charles Leno, they found Bobby McCain, and they became starters. So I think this time basically you just need somebody you just need depth. That's what I'm worried about. If Holcomb gets hurt or Jamin gets hurt, we're going to be in trouble. Yeah,
that's a good point. Linebacker, yeah, for sure is definitely a weakness. They didn't address it. It's pretty interesting. I'm sure that, like you said, they will add someone, but it is interesting that I think they have a lot of confidence in Jamin playing in the right position more. Maybe in some things they'll do differently, and I think they have a lot of confidence in Cole Holcomb to be your Mike. I will say the question for me, even more than that, is what happens when one of them gets hurt? But cross that bridge when we get there, I guess. Tay,
we'll worry about that later.
You've got the Bills and the Chiefs, Week 6 at 4:25. That's going to be a great game. The Giants and Cowboys play on Thanksgiving. That's different. Let's see some of these
That is very different.
Right? Yeah. Week 9, you've got the Rams and the Bucks.
Yeah, Rams have 6 primetime games.
6?
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, rightfully so.
Yeah.
Like rightfully so. But man, that's because I'm a tune out all and then week 1, Monday Night Football, Russell Wilson back in Seattle.
Yeah, I want to see that one. That's gonna be good.
Man, that's gonna.
What about Drew Lock?
What about Drew Lock? What about him?
I mean, it's a chance to say, "Hey, you slept on me," so that'd be a good game.
I don't think that anyone will be saying that. I think Russ is going to show up and show out. But in their Madden simulation, the Broncos win. I forgot for a second there that Russell Wilson's on the Broncos, but has them winning 27-20. Man, okay. Schedule release. And this is the last big thing until OTAs and whatnot. And it's just the NFL. I mean, the fact that the schedule release is a spectacle, man. I tell you what, like we do videos about the schedule. Do they do videos about the NBA schedule release?
No, it's not that. I mean, I think they do for the NBA schedule release, but it's not as big as this.
Yeah, it's not as big of it. I'm looking at the Cowboys schedule some, and I guess the one thing is our divisional. The Commanders play the AFC South, or the NFC East plays the AFC South, and the NFC North. So these same 4, the Jags, Lions, Bears, Texans, Vikings. Like those real easy ones. The Jags, Lions, Bears, Texans, those really easy ones we're saying. The Giants, Eagles, and Cowboys are playing those same games too.
Yeah.
So, it's just easier. But then the Commanders have the Falcons versus probably the Bucks for the Cowboys.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And then they play the
Bucks open up against the Cowboys on Sunday night.
That's right. Okay, there you go. Again, wait, they do that this season again?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
On Sunday night. They did it last season Thursday night. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then the Commanders play the Browns. Cowboys would play the Bengals.
Bengals. Okay.
Bengals won the division.
Bengals. They play Bengals week 2, so they got Bucks and then Bengals.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. All right. So that's a much tougher 2 to start than the Commanders have.
Yeah.
The last one is the 49ers. The Commanders play the 49ers, which means the Cowboys would play the Rams.
Yep.
Right. So basically the Cowboys are playing the Bucks, Rams, and Bengals versus the Falcons, 49ers, and Browns of the Commanders. Yeah, playing that first place schedule last year definitely was a part of why they weren't a first place team last year, but because they won the division.
Yeah. Sure.
That's all I've got, Tay. That's all I've got. Do you have anything else to add regarding the schedule?
No, man, I'm ready to roll. I'm ready to see this season. I'm ready to get OTAs finished up. I'm ready to go on the mandatory mini camp, and let's put our money where our mouth is, man.
Yeah. This is the year. This year 3. It's got to be the year. So, all right. Well, thank you everybody for checking in. Everybody that checked in, we really appreciate your support. We did our first evening live, so that's cool. And we'll be back at it again soon. Start having to come up with some things to talk about and watching some stuff. Thank you for tuning in. This is Todd.
This is Tay.